TikTok, welcome in. We'll get kicked off with the stream here in about 10 or 20 seconds. Kick, thank you for being here. Facebook, welcome in. And our friends at YouTube. I think we're all here. So let's get into this interesting topic. Hi, my name's John Vandivier, staff software engineer, 10 plus years of experience. And I recently hit some interesting social media milestones. We'll go over those briefly, and that will provide the backdrop to today's question. Is John Vandivier the most famous programmer in Virginia? And I have classified this live stream as an educational video for the purpose of Twitch and TikTok categorization. So this might be educational. You might learn a thing or two. We're going to talk about historic figures, big figures, other than myself, and then we'll calibrate. Recent milestone today is, what is today? January, oh gosh, what's the date? January 12th. So kind of a mid-early January check-in. I had some growth after the new year, but I also had a lot of inactivity around Christmas time, so maybe it netted out. Yeah, early January check-in, good milestone at the start of the year, and we'll be able to compare at the end of the year. And this represents good growth from last year, so I'm expecting to double at least this year, double, in terms of social media presence and laterally website usage. Those are two high-level goals. And we've recently had the TikTok ban looming. TikTok ban prediction market. Prediction markets are a really good tool that gives us a less biased measure of the probability that this thing's actually going to happen. You do have to go through a second order selection process to figure out what are even the good prediction markets, and I'm really not sure. eMarketer, I've never heard of this thing. Kalshi, like I don't know. I don't know if Kalshi is reliable. I like Polymarket, but a Polymarket didn't come right up. TikTok ban, Polymarket. Last I checked, there was a 30% chance by, I think, like April. By May, okay? So this is the one that I saw before, and I trust this one a bit more. Wow, they all went up. They're all saying yes. Kalshi and Polymarket. So yeah, I'm out of date. I was looking at this around the 30 percentile chance, and now we're looking at like 70. So we'll see. We'll see. But in 2024, most of my social media audience was concentrated in TikTok, and I felt at risk. So I was intentional about trying to diversify my audience across channels. I tried to focus on YouTube, and somewhat to my surprise, LinkedIn blew up a lot quicker than YouTube did. And that's very welcome. I've had really great conversations, a lot of professional networking, a lot of education, like two-way education, like learning from people that I've talked to. So that's been really welcome. And I'll continue to focus on these two platforms. Twitter is more, I just kind of say anything. I just kind of say anything, and if it sticks, I'll potentially bring it over to LinkedIn if it's like professionally related, or maybe a YouTube short if it's kind of like infotainment. So I do put slightly different content out on the different channels, although there's significant overlap, but you might like to follow me on multiple channels if you're interested in different sorts of content. You can check the link in my bio, and you'll be able to access my open source social media home site. You can clone it and make your own. Check the footer if you want to use it as a template. Really simple, like not too complicated, easy to set up. Hosted for free. You can use GitHub pages. And there's all my socials if you want to go follow me across channel and access the different sorts of content. So with that strategy, and I started doing this, I don't know, mid last year, something like that. Able to acquire, drum roll please, over 10,000 across these other channels. And if this looks like a lot of work, it's actually not. And you can see my social media course. Check out latterly.io. You can sign up for free. The social media course is not free. So the Latterly standard content on like how to learn to code, that's all free. The social media course is in the premium option. You're going to have to sign up for premium. I should come up with a discount code that I drop during these live streams. I can be like Clement. Use discount code, whatever. I don't have a discount code right now, but I'll make you one. So stay tuned, follow the YouTube channel, follow the live streams, and we'll get you a discount code in the next stream. So check that out. Okay, and so over 10,000 across other channels. So I was able to significantly diversify. That's the big milestone. And I was able to do that with a low effort because I leverage a set of tools that allow me to automatically repurpose across channels. And I basically need to set up the integrations once. And really, I can do all of this in less than 5 hours a week. And also Discord in a whole lot more. Really, this is taking me like, 3, 4, 5 hours a week, something like that. If you include my conversations that I have on Discord in the social media umbrella. Okay, so that's and it's actually over 11K, but whatever, we'll call it 10K. That's the big milestone, and I'm very happy about that. So if we have 25K on TikTok, 10K elsewhere, obviously it's still relatively concentrated, but it's a whole lot better than it used to be. But I need to eat some humble pie. I need to eat some humble pie because I ran a survey on LinkedIn to identify my cross-channel followership, and it's about 50%. So when it sounds like I have 25K and 10K over here, the truth is only 5K are distinctly over here, if that makes sense. So half of that 10K also follows me on TikTok. So there really is still significant concentration. I'd like to continue to diversify that. And I got to thinking, I don't know any other programmers in my state, and I'm living in Virginia. I don't know any other programmers in my state that have this large of a following. Definitely there's bigger people all over New York and California, right? In my home state, born and raised in Texas, shout out Texas, drop a T in the chat if you're a Texan. Austin has blown up. It's now a tech hub, and there's definitely more famous people in Austin as well. I tried to ask ChatGPT what counts as the hill country on a county by county basis. So the hill country is a notable region of Texas where I'm from. Georgetown, Texas, represent. Going to be a small number of, I don't think anyone in the audience is from Georgetown, but if you're here, welcome. I might be the most famous programmer born in Georgetown, Texas, but I'm definitely not the most famous programmer in the hill country because Travis County, which includes Austin, is considered, at least according to ChatGPT, part of the hill country. Now, if you go to Georgetown, Texas, which has the moniker, it's the poppy capital seed of red poppy capital of Texas, but it also has this other moniker of the gateway to the hill country. So it's kind of controversial in Georgetown. They often say, well, Austin's not really the hill country, but according to ChatGPT and I guess Wikipedia and some other places, it is. So I don't think I can claim that label without controversy. So what's like the most prestigious label that I can credibly claim? And that's what today's stream is about. And this will be short. We'll do this in under 20 minutes. And you'll get to hear some interesting names. So I need to eat some humble pie. Like, I'm not that famous. I'm pretty much a tech creator, niche, micro-influencer. But if I narrow my region, right, maybe I'm definitely the most famous person in the county where I now live. I don't know if I want to reveal the county where I now live. But a question, I was like, I wonder about the whole state of Virginia. And it might be the case. I think we can plausibly claim this. So, with all that background, and now you have some metrics on my size, and let's dive into this ChatGPT chat. And the short answer is no. I'm not the most famous programmer from Virginia because today I learned Grace Hopper's from Virginia. Shout out Grace Hopper. Like, she has me beat by a jillion %, right? Like, Grace Hopper is the GOAT. Grace Hopper is the queen. However, she's not alive. So you could say she maybe the most famous active programmer. Maybe I should go for this. And so let's further investigate the question. So who are some other famous people from Virginia? Oh, Steve Case, the co-founder of AOL. Wow. He's definitely got me beat. So let's check out Steve Case. He's still alive. He's still kicking. And here's his Twitter. Over 600,000 followers. But let's notice a couple things. One, Twitter says he lives in DC. Twitter says he lives in DC. His LinkedIn says that he lives in McLean, which is Northern Virginia. Actually, like literally up the road. And his LinkedIn following is bigger than me, and his Twitter following is way bigger than me. But was he actually a programmer? Is he a programmer? Nothing on his resume that I can see indicates that he certainly doesn't code today. And I don't know if he ever coded. So I tweeted him, and we'll get his thoughts. But I tweeted him, and I asked him who he thinks the most famous programmer is in Virginia. It'll take him some time to respond. And I asked him if he actually coded it at AOL. I'm not sure if he actually coded. And I don't think he's an active coder either. I think he's into venture capital and public relations, going back and forth between DC, advocating for entrepreneurship. Really laudable. Shout out to Steve, helping out small business, helping out entrepreneurs, helping out the tech industry. Plus the legacy of AOL is huge. Although we can say AOL is also bygone, isn't it? AOL, historically famous, historically important, but we don't really think of that as current. So even if he did code, I would advocate that he is a programmer emeritus. And so if I'm going for this most famous active programmer in VA, I think I've still got it. What about Tim O'Reilly? Well, Tim O'Reilly is from Ireland, and he lives in California. And you can Google him and check out his Twitter. Really, really famous guy. I mean, super famous guy. But what's he got to do with Virginia? It baffles me. So he's out there in California. Shout out O'Reilly. Okay, so, and then it just, ChatGPT just waves its hand at, like, there's a lot of programmers there, and there's a AWS HQ2 in Crystal City. So we have a lot of better programmers. I don't think I'm the best programmer in Virginia, but I genuinely don't know any of those people that work at HQ2, and I know a bunch of them. I don't know any of them with more of a social media following. So I'll really take them to task on that. They'll beat me at LeetCode. Well, I'll beat a good number of them at LeetCode, but a bunch of them will beat me at LeetCode and program more complicated things. But are they better known? The fact that they're just getting lumped in and their hand waved at with no specific names kind of indicates maybe not. So let's continue on. Then I just asked ChatGPT, do you even know who John Vandivier is? And it says, well, there's a few people named John Vandivier. And the first one, notably the first one, is me, software engineer and educator. That's me, PhD in economics, well-known on Platform, where he garnered a following for his coding life content. That's me. Tap the TikTok like button. Thanks for being here. Okay, and then it says, ChatGPT says, if you have a specific individual, provide more context. Yes, we're talking about programmers, so I'm referring to the first one. What state does he reside in? So John Vandivier is based in Alexandria, Virginia. That is no longer current. I used to live in Alexandria. I don't live there today. I'm not going to tell you the city that I live in, but I still live in Northern Virginia, in that region of the state. So the point is that I'm known publicly to live in Virginia. And then it even pulls up this video with dev leader. Shout out dev leader Nick Cosentino. Nick Cosentino, principal at Microsoft, and he lives in Canada. What is it? I don't know, Ontario or Alberta, something like that. And it would be an interesting question, is he one of the best known people in his region? But he's not in Virginia or even the United States. So cool that it pulls this up. I love the picture here. I mean, his is better than mine. I thought it was fun that it pulled that up. So far, we know two things. One, ChatGPT knows who I am and where I live. And if we're going for the most famous current or active programmer in Virginia, so far I'm still in the running. Let's keep going. Is there any more famous programmer in Virginia currently living, that is? Okay, so we're restricting it now, currently living. Not from VA or related to VA. So earlier, ChatGPT thought, for reasons I don't really understand, thought that Tim O'Reilly has a strong connection to Virginia. Although he's not from here, he doesn't live here, but he has a strong connection through a lot of the stuff that he's done. And it's true. I mean, if you go to Virginia Tech, like, O'Reilly Media is in use for sure. So I don't know exactly what the connection is here, unless it's just that high-level connection. And I'm sure AOL had an impact on the state, but it also had an impact on a lot of states, didn't it? It doesn't seem to me to be a Virginia-specific connection. Maybe I'm missing something. So ChatGPT goes, okay, well, what about Jim Buckmaster, CEO of Craigslist? And he's from Virginia Tech. Well, let's check out Jim Buckmaster. Pretty well-known figure because Craigslist is very well-known. But he's the CEO, not the CTO. Did he code? I think actually he did code. But check this out. This surprised me. Okay, I'm thinking, yeah, if he bootstrapped Craigslist and if he coded it up, I actually think he coded it up at one point, then he would have me beat, right? Well, on second thought, I didn't know the name of the CEO of Craigslist. I knew Craigslist, but I didn't know Jim Buckmaster until ChatGPT told me. And here's the thing. He actually doesn't have a big social media following. I was surprised by this. He's got hundreds, not thousands of followers. And he's currently living in California now. So if we had a time machine, maybe he would have had me beat back in the day, but I think I got this guy beat. Shout out Jim. Shout out Jim. Craigslist, obviously really important, but I think I got this guy beat. What about Jesse Cliff? Now we're cooked, right? So he's also from Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, really great tech school, right? He created Counter-Strike. I'm cooked. I'm totally cooked. This guy, and he definitely coded. This guy is maybe the first, besides Grace, the first on the list that is still alive and definitely coded. So let's check out Jesse. I am not sure if I don't actually think this is Twitter. There's no way that Jesse only has 20 Twitter followers. So I think Google did some association here that's kind of weird. But if I go to LinkedIn, well, he's living in Seattle, Washington, and he has one connection. Anyway, he's definitely more famous than his connection count represents, but if he's living in Washington, I can rule him out. Shout out Jesse. This guy, this guy is definitely what I would consider at least a relatively modern. He's in the zeitgeist still. Like Counter-Strike is still relevant. AOL, we might call AOL bygone. Counter-Strike is still relevant. But I think we can rule him out. And so I give ChatGPT some notes. According to Wikipedia and Twitter, Jim's in California. And my Twitter following is larger than Jim. I'm not even sure if Jim ever coded. It doesn't look like... Anyway. So ChatGPT is like, well, based on all of this, John Vandivier could indeed be considered one of the most prominent programmers actively living in Virginia today. So there you go. And one of the things that I love about this is ChatGPT is confused. As the CEO of Learning React. Well, that was a TikTok meme. I don't have a company called Learn React. I'm not really a CEO. It was just a meme on TikTok for a while that if you're defining your niche as a content creator, you'll say that you're the CEO of X in your bio to give the audience a quick snapshot into like what kind of content you produce. So you might see like some other influencer might say that they're the CEO of beatboxing or the CEO of painting, or like wine and paint, like drinking wine and painting. And so I said I was the CEO of Learn React, and I've also been famous for the meme Learn React, not Python, which is this early career focused statement that gives the audience my strong opinion that the best entry into programming, at least at the time I was pumping that, I don't think I still have that as my bio. Let's see. Yeah, so I actually changed it, but I used to say Learn React, not Python. Here in 2025, I think they both work. They're just going to take you in different directions. That's kind of a discussion for a different video. But anyway, there you go. That is today's short video where I'm going to have my five more minutes of fame. I guess I've had some level of fame. And I'm not saying that I am the most famous programmer. I'm just asking the question. Am I? Am I the most famous active programmer in Virginia? I'll leave the remaining